recently I had a day off from work and I decided to just go and venture out towards the city and just enjoy the day, have a nice day, get something nice to eat, and just read and, just do the things that I enjoy doing. It was a really nice day, it was quite chill. But I started thinking, as I usually do, about what this year has been like. What have I learned? Where have I failed? And how I can make 2023 even better year than this year. Something that I like to do with each year that's coming up. I know there's that whole thing, what's going to be your New Year's resolution, and all those different goals that people make, which is quite interesting and it's quite cool at the same time. But how often do we actually stick by those goals that we've promised ourselves to do? So what are the things that I want to keep doing next year? I ask myself this, what are the things that I want to keep doing next year? Or maybe even try new things that's going to keep me disciplined enough to be consistent with the things that I like, that eventually improves my well-being and my self-awareness and just self-care. J. Cole has this line that I always love, don't medicate but meditate. Don't medicate, but meditate. Yeah, I think that's how it goes, like, crazy song, love it. I always loved that line. But it's just like, I've always loved it. So, and the whole aspect about it is just, find natural remedies to just improve your well-being. Firstly, I would recommend that you continue or you start to journal. I recently journaled after 2 months, and there's something about journaling is it's the fact that I always know how good it is, yet I always get lazy with it. I always know that I'm gonna feel really great after it, but it just requires, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that I have to voluntarily feel insecure and feel sad or feel upset and admit to me feeling sad and insecure and upset about something and then write it down. Maybe it's that, or maybe it just requires a lot of effort. Maybe it's both. However, every time I do journal, I just feel this amount of just relief and this feeling of realizing, okay, this is how my brain works and this is the thing that I've written down, and okay, wait a second, this is what I meant by that day, and this is what I meant, this is what happened that day, and this is what happened this day, and I'm, I guess, articulating and processing my thoughts in a nice, coherent manner. So journaling is something that I will definitely recommend, even if it's a 5-minute daily journal. Tim Ferriss talks about that a lot. In the morning when you wake up, if you don't have time in the morning, which I usually don't, and I don't really advocate morning journaling, but some people can do that and that's fine. I usually journal in the afternoon or coming home from work as a way to end the day and just to relive what happened on that day, or just what's been happening for the past few months or weeks or whatever it is. So I definitely think journaling is something that's going to really help. There's so many videos on it on how to journal. Everyone talks about the benefits of journaling, and I am someone who doesn't do it that often, yet still knows how many benefits there are to this beautiful thing. It's just an awesome process, and I definitely recommend it for 2023, for a new year, just to set goals and just to implement it in your everyday life. And I say every day, not 7 days a week, because that's an unrealistic goal, and I don't believe in unrealistic goals, but even twice a week, 3 times a week is fine. Next, I would say, is having cold showers and exercising. Now, I think the reason I'm saying cold showers, exercising, and even gym, they all kind of like they encompass around the fact of just, taking care of your physical body and your mental mind and your mental strength. However, exercise can be dissected a little bit. So for me personally, that's going gym 3-4 times a week, minimum 3, maximum 4. My schedule is so intense, I just can't go more than 4. And less than 3, I always end up feeling guilty. That's that. Having cold showers maybe 4 to 5 times a week. We already know the benefits of cold shower with inflammation, with stress relief, with energy and alleviation of anxiety. There's a philosophical aspect that you're voluntarily doing something in the cold that is going to be hard, and the way your prefrontal cortex responds to doing something voluntarily as opposed to doing something involuntarily, there's a completely different process. So I was watching Huberman recently, and he was talking about the benefits of the cold shower or the cold plunge. I don't have the resources for a cold plunge. However, cold shower is much more reliable. It's not that expensive. It's just nothing. It's so cheap. It's just water. It's the water bill. And it's just quick and easy. I don't have to go out of my way and do anything. I have tried cryotherapy in the past, but again, it's expensive, out of my way, and just takes a lot of time. Cold showers is beautiful. Going for walks as much as you can. I mean, there's something about just being in nature, being outside, whether you're walking with a friend, a partner, a family member, anyone, or just doing your solo walks. I haven't read this book in a while, but it was one of the School of Life books, and I remember reading a chapter on why this author walked by herself for like a whole year. Not every day, but just on random days, or she just prioritized going for walks. Eva Hoffman, that's the author's name. It's a great book. And yeah, ever since I read this book, and it was like 2-3 years ago, and then it was also because of the fact of COVID happening, I just started walking and just going out in nature, just becoming reflective and becoming just relax. You know, if it's a good, beautiful day as well, that helps. But if it's a rainy day like this, I mean, it doesn't help. So again, realistic, try to implement going for walks, but just anything. You don't have to do any of these physical attributes that I've just listed, but people do different things. People do martial arts, people do running, people do biking, people do all sorts of things, but prioritize at least minimum one physical activity that you can implement in your life next year. And I want to live the longest and healthiest life I can. That might sound a bit narcissistic to some people, but I don't think it is. I just genuinely think I want to have a healthy life, and someone who's approaching the 30s, 4 years, 4-5 years from now, 4 years from now, you know, I want to be well equipped to handle those years, and then eventually 40s and 50s. So if you start now and you start prioritizing your exercise and your physical health right now, your mental health as a byproduct will just improve. I would also say have the willingness to keep learning in 2023, and that's something that shouldn't just stay for 2023. It should just keep being implemented in your life. People learn in different ways. You don't have to read books to learn. However, I personally feel that's the best way to learn for me, and I think for a lot of people will agree to that as well. I just think, you know, ever since I started reading books, my life has just completely changed. The way I perceive things, the way I learned so many different things, my confidence in life by itself has improved drastically. So I just think learning, I wouldn't say read, because that's a very specific goal and that might not to relate to everyone, but I would say to just learn and have that perception to just keep learning in 2023 would be really fruitful. You know, you can go on Reddit and learn about so many things every day. You can go on YouTube and learn about so many things every day. I personally like to learn through books. That's why I love them. However, just to have that attitude for 2023 of just keep learning. Some people are just so content, or they just think, oh, you know, I know everything. I know I'm comfortable with what I have. And, you know, I don't really care about this X, Y, and Z. But I've realized ever since I started learning about so many different things, my perception, not only my perception, but just my mind is way more open to a lot of trying different things, knowing different things, and even failing in those things, but at least I gave it a shot. And I know a lot of people in my life would agree to that. Next, I would say traveling. Traveling was something that was taken away from us for so long, especially due to the pandemic. And I remember as soon as we were allowed, my partner and I went to Thailand, and it was a hassle traveling during COVID. It was really annoying and really frustrating, but we did it. You know, traveling is something that I wholeheartedly believe in. You know, either you're traveling by yourself, or you're with your partner, or with your friends, or with a family member. All four aspects have different experiences, and I've done all four of them, and they're all good in their own way. I just think travel. I just think, you know, you should. It doesn't even have to be international if it's a budget issue or if it's a time issue, but having that aspect of just traveling and seeing what's out there. You know, I've met people in my life that have never left Australia, that haven't even left the state that I live in, and I've always been like fascinated by that. I'm like, why? What do you mean by that? But again, look, that's them, and this is me. So I don't judge, I guess I observe, if that makes sense. So my recommendation from what I've learned and the benefits that I've reaped from traveling is that keep traveling, don't stop traveling, save up for traveling. If it's a money thing, start saving now incrementally, prioritize it. It's just about prioritizing it. And whether it's locally or whether it's internationally, and whether it's one day to Mars, hopefully, Elon Musk. No, I'm joking. I just think it's such an important tool to have in your get-go. You know, me and my partner do this one thing. As soon as we have an idea to travel somewhere, we start saving straight away. And when we finish that trip, we already start saving for the next trip, even though we don't know where we're going next. But having that, you know, just that bank account prioritization of starting saving to $100 a week, or $150 a week, or $50 a week just to your travel account would be really, really amazing. Yeah. One thing I would work on myself, and this is a personal thing I would say, is to just be a bit grateful. I think that's something that I really lack sometimes. And I think in the past, when I've hung out with friends or when I've just been in a social environment, I think I've admitted to the fact that I'm grateful, but I think I think it's just a social approval or a social mask that I wear when it comes to that. My problem is that nothing is never enough for me. And a lot of people will say to that, yeah, that's the same. You know, everyone feels that. Everyone feels the fact that nothing's enough for them. They want to make more money and they want to have more resources and they want to have more materialistic objects. And I think some people are on different levels. I definitely am on a really high level where it's very hard for me to just pause and just reflect and be like, okay, I've achieved this, I've done good in this, okay, these are all the things that I have. I feel like I have this really big void in me that's never really satisfied. I think I definitely want to work on that contentness, just being able to just step back and just realize, okay, this is good, this was a good day, not always just focusing on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I feel like this is a really generic problem amongst society, especially in the Western culture. I still personally believe there's different levels to it. Some people might not do it as often. I definitely do it a lot, and I think I just need to work on it a bit more. But I think for me, it was just that, you know, more, and just that that mentality of just having more and having more and having more, and again, not being grateful and not being content, something that I really deeply struggle with. So this is a short, nice, simple video. I had a day off today, so I just started thinking on what could I tell my future self for 2023 and the future selves after that as well, on how to just have a good, meaningful year. I'm gonna have really tough times next year. I'm gonna have really good times next year, but that's just part of life. However, what are some things that I can keep doing that I'm doing now? And what are some different techniques or different approaches I can take for next year and tweak my perception and tweak my, I guess, ability to look at things and react to things a certain way. Anyway, thank you for watching. 2022 is ending. I want to know in the comments below, what was this year like for you and what do you look forward to becoming a better human being next year? Thank you so much for watching.